Money tip number one is bootstrapping. So make sure starting off with essentially your own time, effort, and money to see if the concept of your business is validated. So you want to validate your idea before you can either kind of take it to a venture capitalist. And the main reason for this is control. For me, it's control. So I own all my business. I don't have venture capitalist money. I don't have other funding money. And it means I keep control of my business, which is really great for me. It means I can essentially have freedom to do work when I want to. I don't have to answer to investors. I can choose how I run my business, which for me, that's great. It might not be good for everyone, but essentially I think bootstrapping, if you're starting a business today, bootstrapping is the best way to do it. It's never been easier or cheaper to start your own business. So all you need is a laptop, internet connection, and even you can do Instagram, an idea on Instagram, and then you can start actually starting your own business. So mindset tip number one is to bootstrap your business idea. So we're covering business ideas and business mindset, essentially doing it yourself, pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps, investing your time, energy, and money into that business. Tip number two for starting your own business, so mindset business number two, is essentially starting small and then going big. So what do I mean by this? Essentially, you need to test your business idea. So don't put loads of money into the concept of your idea before you test it small. So you want to be testing it, do micro testing. Go to your friends, your family, or people you know, and testing that idea. Is it going to work first of all before investing loads of money into this business idea? So this was a big mindset change for me. And yes, essentially testing small. And it's never been easier just to put you can even put a Facebook ad out and testing if that's going to work. If you're going to, or just a piece of paper, a sign up sheet, and just essentially going to test that idea before you start investing lots of money into a business idea that may not work or hasn't been tested. So it's all about testing that idea first of all. Focuses away from what doesn't work to what does work. So testing that idea to making sure it works small, and then essentially making sure that kind of idea works big. So that's concept number two. So essentially, yeah. And once you've got that business idea working small, then you can test and refine it and improve it and build that idea up yourself to actual concept of a business that's going to generate profits, which is the whole point of a business. So a business is taking away pain from someone or providing massive pleasure. So that's essentially what a business is, at a profit. And that's what a business is. Step three is 80% of the stuff you do isn't going to work. And for me, that was quite a bitter pill to swallow, because you kind of think that you have this idea that you kind of created and you think it's going to be some kind of revolutionary idea, but actually you have to understand that most of the stuff you do isn't going to work. So understanding 80% of the stuff you do isn't going to work, and yeah, understanding that and not getting kind of too upset that it's not working and it's just testing and refining. So that the good news is 20% of the stuff you do will work, and then it's using that. They talk about the 80-20 principle, so Pareto principle of the path of least resistance. So 80% of the stuff you do won't work, but focusing on the 20% of stuff that does work, and yeah, doubling down on that 20%. So focusing on what that 20% of your business is successful, and then essentially doing more of that and creating more value for other people. You have to kind of be an optimist in the long term. Starting especially an entrepreneurial business which hasn't been you're doing something new that hasn't been tested before is essentially quite risky in the short term, but in the long term, so it's never been a better time to start your own business, and never been a better time to create your own product or service that you're going to offer to the market. So many people today are kind of scared to start your own business, but it's the biggest opportunity, kind of what I call the arbitrage of knowledge, the biggest place where your time, energy, and effort you can put into that. That might be on the weekend, that might be after you finish work. It's the biggest upside to essentially unlimited value. If you create a business, think of Facebook that's just started in someone's dorm room, Mark Zuckerberg's dorm room, and the upside of that is massive. So today your biggest opportunity is starting your own business. So yeah, coming back to point 3, but 20% of the things you do will work, but then again 80% of the things you do won't work. And it's understanding that as an entrepreneur, you've got to kind of almost take that hit, take the pain of it not working all the time. And it's about testing and refining and taking what does work and then kind of creating something better. So that is tip number 3. So building on what you've learned and what learning, and essentially you've got to kind of be pretty resilient and think of that kind of back to, like evolution of a business. So coming back to kind of the evolution of Darwin. So it's not the fittest that survive, it's the ones that's going to change the most. And it's the same with a business. So changing it and adding value and kind of evolving over time. You can't always, the business that I thought I was making initially is kind of different to what the business that I am today. Like things happen, like coronavirus happened, and as an entrepreneur you have to kind of have that mindset shift. And so my original plan for Money Tips was to get people into a room and teach them how to invest. But obviously things like coronavirus means that things are always not going to work out. So having that kind of mentality and the mindset that you can change and focusing on the 20% of things that do work and then doubling down on that. So that's point 3. 4 is your business isn't a job. So if you're starting a business, it's not a job, and you've got to think differently than a job. So it's not a 9-to-5 job where you go into work and you get paid for your time that you're there. So essentially, when I was in the corporate world, once you have your job and you get kind of half decent at your work, you can kind of go in and essentially clock watch almost. A lot of people I know do that, and essentially you turn up at the right time, you leave at the right time, and you're going to get paid. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, this is not the way that business works, unfortunately. So you get paid as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, for the value that you create. So you get paid for solving people's problems, giving people value, and getting people results. So what are the results you're creating? What problems are you solving? It's not about putting in the hours. Mindset shift change 4 is your business isn't a job. You get paid on the results you create. You get paid for how much value you offer to other people. It's not a job, it's getting paid to create value. Money is the outcome of setting up a number of different systems and providing results for that person, and they're going to pay you money for that.
Buy the book Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruit, you need the roots. It's the 5-step method to getting money mindset. Money mindset. I think that sounds alright.